All right, everybody, we're live. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. I am Christopher Bell, your favorite YouTuber, and I have my guest, Jay Nagy. Our Canadian friend froze to death in the tundra, so he couldn't make it tonight. What's up,
Probably,
Jay?
probably on lockdown in Canada again.
Yeah, the Delta variant. We got to lock down again.
Yeah, I hear talk of like having to wear masks again. I refuse to wear masks.
DeSantis said he's not doing anything down here.
Yeah,
I'm done.
We'll do
I'm
it
out.
in Virginia. I know they'll do it in Virginia.
Yeah, dude, but I'm out. I got the vaccine. I'm not doing anymore, right? Like I'm not in the at-risk group. I don't have a bunch of underlying conditions. Yeah, I drink too much, but
That's an avoidable condition, Jay.
it is. I keep saying it every time. I really do have to dial back. It's killing the muse, man. I go to work and I'm hungover, and then I just don't feel funny, so I don't write jokes.
Yeah. Now that I have a kid, I drink way less because it's just hell to freaking get up at 2 a.m. when you're half drunk with a screaming kid. But someone did bring me a margarita as like a surprise gift, so I'm actually drinking a margarita right now.
Dude, if I had a kid, there's I don't think I'd drink until they got older and they could take care of themselves. It was not worth feeling like crap, like you said, when you got to get up in the middle of the night and try and figure out, well, is he just crying because he had a nightmare, or is he crying because he crapped his pants, or what?
Yeah, I don't even know if babies have nightmares. It's either because they're hungry or they crap their pants, or sometimes they have gas, so you have to like pat their back. It could be a pain in the ass, a pain in the butt. Excuse me. I already got demonetized.
We're not even monetized yet.
Yeah, I never will be monetized. Nobody cares about index funds and Bogleheads. It's all stupid. You know what really offends me, man? Chris Sane. Out of all the YouTubers that are like popular, that is the most offensive channel of all, because like he is literally a total idiot, and he doesn't even give justifications for why you buy stocks. At least Stockmo kind of has some thesis behind what he's saying, but Chris Sane is just this.
Chris Sane. I meant to do a reaction to him. Maybe I'll do it tonight when I'm drinking. But I was watching a video and he says it's going to this, and I'm like, why? And I'm just sitting there, and he goes, FedEx is a buy under $300, and I'm like, but based on what? What are you basing this on? That's what I got from it when I watched it.
I mean, really, all they do is have like, oh well, this is going to be a big company sometime in the future, so I might as well buy it now. That's pretty much the logic for all the YouTubers.
FedEx was running negative free cash flows for the past couple of years. Then they had this major bumper year. Why? COVID.
I mean, were the negative cash flows? Were they at least having positive operating cash flows? Like, what was going on? Were they spending a lot of money to expand the business, or what?
Not a business that size. It's just that's just not really a profitable business that I want to put my money on. And it's just, but I mean, if he had run a discounted cash flow, right? Done it like this, ran the numbers that he expected it to do, added up all the cash flows using the EPS, because that's what I've been doing, and then just use the discounted cash flow model behind me, discount that back to the present, and then he said, I think FedEx is a buy at 130 for this reason. Its PE ratio drops to this, blah, blah, blah. But it's none of that. It's just hot garbage. Like, I could sit here probably for an hour telling you why you should buy Alibaba stock.
Yeah, speaking of Chinese stocks, what are you gonna do, Jay? Are you gonna sell because the stock went down?
I bought
like
more.
Kathy Wood did.
I bought more. I told you I wasn't gonna do it, but I was looking at. I bought it 194. I was like, when I said I wanted to see what it was gonna do, I was hoping it dropped to like 150 or 140.
I think Baba go down to like 181. I think, wasn't that the low?
I think so, something like that.
I remember looking at that. I was like, God, should I put in just a little bit more? But then I was like, you know what? I have enough freaking BABA right now. But I do have 2 buy limit orders. So if it drops to like 180 or 160, I'll buy a couple more shares. But I have to stop, man.
Dude, I don't know, but I might do what Paul did and do the thing where they pay you, and if it drops to like $100, you're forced to buy the shares.
I don't like that strategy. And the reason why is if you get equitized, you have to buy 100 shares.
Ah, all right.
Yeah. I would not. Okay. I wouldn't do that, dude. I mean, if you're going to be selling options, you need to have like a ton of cash.
Okay.
Basically cash secured options. So I wouldn't do that. But I mean, yeah, if options came in like less than 100, less than the denominations of 100, yeah, I'd probably freaking, write some options, but I'm not going to sit on 20, 30,000 in cash.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, if it was like you can sit on 20 shares, I'd be like, yeah, I'm good on that. I'll have the money sitting there.
I actually thought about buying some BABA calls like 2.5 years out, but the premium was like $4,000. And I was like, you know what? I can max my IRA in like 5 months. I'm not going to do crap. So
no, dude, that's dumb because it also comes down where it's better to put your money. I mean, look, we both think that I think BABA is going to be depressed for probably another 4 to 6 months before enough people start to realize the value there. And the fears could be a year. But at a certain point, the market's going to catch up to them. People are going to be like, oh, this really is a good buy.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is like one event where all the fears of China go away, and then you're going to see, I think you're going to see massive explosions in all these stock prices because the only reason they're so low is because of the fear of delisting and the Chinese government. But man, if that went away or at least was mitigated, you're going to see quick, massive buying, which I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's my.
I don't either, but it's not unreasonable. If you look at Amazon, it's trading at a PE ratio of 64 or something like that last time I looked, right? I think Amazon's outrageously overvalued. I told you that like when I was looking at the free cash flows from Walmart, and they're almost exactly this. Amazon is
that blew my mind, dude. I was like, are you serious? Walmart has the same free cash flow as Amazon, and Walmart's like what, a $400 billion company, something like that.
You went and looked it up, right?
Yeah, I think I did look. I don't remember what the numbers were, but
yeah. No, but when I was looking at it, because I couldn't actually believe it, because I'm like, but why is, okay, if you're producing that cash flow, why is Amazon trading at 4 times Walmart? And like, so I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I'm like, well, the conclusion I have is that Walmart is still even overvalued right now because you just looked at the price to earnings ratio. It's 33. This is a slow growth old company. So, I mean, Amazon is massively overvalued then.
Oh, yeah. I'm not touching Amazon. You saw how it crashed like 7%. Was it Thursday or Friday? The stock tanked because it didn't actually meet like revenue growth expectations, which, well, it didn't surprise me because like when you buy these growth stocks and there's even like a tiny discrepancy in revenue growth, it casts doubt on the entire model and then the freaking stock tanks.
Well, I'm going to send you this model tomorrow. I'm going to fuck around with it tonight, but I got some funky numbers. I averaged them out to get a price target for me maybe to possibly buy Amazon at $460.
$460. Yeah, see, I was getting like 2,000 something.
I got 2,000, but I did it a different way. I'm going to send you the sheet because I don't know that this makes sense, but it kind of does to me if you actually just look at the massive overvaluation of the market cap. If we look at it like let's say, for $40, you can buy a machine that prints you $2.50, or you could pay $180 for a machine that pays you $2.50, which one are you going to choose? How much more can Amazon actually grow?
I would choose the EV machine, Jay.
Yeah, it prints out electric vehicles. But I mean, how much, at this point, how much more can Amazon continue to grow at a fast pace?
I mean, the crazy thing is all these big companies are still having massive increases in revenue. But I mean, I do agree with you. There's a point, and it could have been because of the stimulus and the pandemic. But I mean, once that goes away, yeah, I kind of agree. There's no freaking way these companies can just keep growing and growing and growing. 20%, 30%, 40% every year. It's nuts.
Well, it gets to a point that Amazon is not going to be able to sustain the growth that it did in the past. And then it's no longer judicious to pay a premium for growth.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I'm more of a fan of buying Walmart. I haven't looked at the numbers, so don't quote me, but they are getting into delivery. And I personally use Walmart Plus. You pay $98. It's kind of like Prime. And you have free delivery of food. So like every 2-3 weeks, I freaking get a free delivery delivered straight to my doorstep. And it's pretty good, you know? So I'm a huge fan of Walmart. I mean, I haven't looked at the numbers recently, but I do think it's a much better buy than Amazon by far.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the raw numbers of it, man. And I don't understand Amazon's valuation.
You know why? Because Wall Street's stupid. That's why.
It's what?
I think Wall Street's just stupid. Like a lot of people, like they all get these super optimistic, you know, projections, and half the time I just think they're just pulling crap out of their butt. Like I don't trust anybody from Wall Street telling me anything. I always look directly at the numbers and don't try to have anybody else's opinion shape what I think. Because if you listen to somebody on Wall Street, they may have an agenda, you know, and that's
they do. Dude, you read Peter Lynch's book, One Up on Wall Street. They talk about Nate. Okay, we're going to point this out. Nate Roscoe.
Nate, you're on timeout. You've been a bad boy.
Nate, you can join us, but you need to be at about a 5. Last time you were on, you were at a 10. Constantly trying to hit home runs and saying racial stuff.
All right, Nate, we'll give you one more chance next week. You can watch this week. Sorry, buddy. You're obnoxious.
You don't want to let him in today?
Not today. Too much drama.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if he promises to be good. We can bring him in, and if he comes in and he gets bad, we'll boot him out.
Base Nate. Hey, come on next week, okay?
All right.
You better be a good boy, or Daddy Strongman's going to give you a spanking.
No, but it's just I screw Kyle said, I think Kevin quit YouTube. He has no videos for 5 days after Tesla earnings.
Yeah, let me throw in a fat wad of tobacco, and then we'll jump into comments. Isn't this what you subscribe to us for? Just to watch me put tobacco in my mouth?
Jesus Christ,
right now.
Are you putting in a whole fucking can?
I have a problem, okay, Jay? Don't make fun of me. Jay Cabrera, he bought some Alibaba. The stock went down, bro. That's stupid. No one's supposed to buy stocks that go up recently. What's wrong with you?
That's dumb, bro. You should have bought Planet 13.
I care about index funds. You're like the only person on YouTube that likes index funds. They're boring. UPS. Have you looked at UPS?
No, but I think it was almost the same thing. For me, man, I'll look at stocks for fun, but like for my portfolio, you got to have a specific reason to be in there. And like I said, I think I can get close to 15 to 20% on BABA. Right?
I think you're going to get more now, especially if you buy.
Yeah, I think I can get. I think BABA can be a 20 to 25%er. Like I think at minimum it's a 2-bagger. All right. So that outstrips what I can get with my Vanguard healthcare fund of about 15%, 14 to 15%. Other than that, if you're like an 11 or 12%er, which is better than the market, I'm still not really interested in you.
Yeah, and to be honest, the main reason I talk about individual stocks on my channel is because I want to draw people in. I want to entice them with the carrot, like, oh, individual stocks. And then once they come into my channel, then I'm like, hey, maybe you should consider total world stock market index funds and tax advantage accounts. That's my long-term strategy. But yeah, I'm like you. I'm not huge in individual stocks.
Like, I'll give you an example. Not a bad move, probably. Haven't really looked at it. You probably know more about it than I do. Because, like I said, I haven't really looked at it.
What about 50 Cent?
Huh?
What about 50 Cent?
What do you mean 50 cent?
Never mind.
Oh, 10 cent, 50 cent. Okay, I get it now. All right, yeah. I haven't really looked at it. Everything Money, those guys did, what they do, Baidu this morning, and they're saying it could be a buy.
Basically, it's a buy. I mean, the whole point is that a buy really depends on your required rate of return. You really have to understand that. Because if you want a 2% return, yeah, go buy Amazon, go buy Apple. But if you want a 10, 15, 20% return, you need to look at other stocks. It's all about what return you want. That's what really matters. I want to buy the Chinese index, FLCH. I made a video on it. If you want to have a China index. Me, Kevin, quit YouTube. Now, you can't get rid of that cash cow. He's going to come back. I don't know what's up with him. Is it something to do with like the lawsuit, you think?
I don't know, man. Maybe what I wanted to happen happened, and he got bit by a python.
Yeah. I can't wait to see his opinion on Robinhood stock. We'll talk about that. Do you have to tip Walmart delivery? You don't have to tip anybody, Andy. I usually tip $7.50, but like the recommended tips are like 10, 20, 30 bucks. Yeah, I'm not paying that. But it's still worth it because you save so much time. Like, especially if you have kids and you need food, you don't have to freaking pack the kid in the car, drive to Walmart, wait in line with a bunch of fat people, and then drive home. You can just click a couple buttons, boom, and it gets delivered straight to your door. It's pretty cool. It's worth the $7.50 in tip. Any thoughts, Jay?
No, I haven't looked at it.
I think it has a pretty high expense ratio. Here's the trick, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to buy an index for any country, the only thing that matters, well, there's a couple things that matter, but expense ratio and turnover ratio. You want those both as low as possible because you're buying a freaking index. They're just tracking a stock index. So if I think this chart is pretty high expense ratio for an index. So, I mean, that's what I think. I have to look, but I think FLCH, the one that I covered, I think that's your best bet if you want to hold a specifically China index. Were you going to say something?
No, we got to talk. We'll do the comments and we got to talk. You were right about the financial planner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I do want to talk about that. I'm being accused of being a 10. I'm flattered, Jay. Somebody should cut it out with the McCarthyism. I looked at the ARK fund, one of the funds. They had Lockheed Martin at one of the in the top 20 position. They had Lockheed Martin at one of the smallest position in that hot garbage ETF. I'm like, this is pretty much the only quality company that you own, and you put it at the. I'm like, Kathy Woods is not like I no longer even respect her. She's like Paul said, she's a momentum trader. She sold all of her China stocks for what? Out of fear. If they delist it, I'll just buy and sell on the Hong Kong. Yeah, I mean the thing with fund managers is they're actually disadvantaged compared to retail investors because they have to impress their clients every quarter and every year or every 2 years. Whereas you can take like the long view and you may suck for a couple of years, but if you know you're buying companies at a good price, in the long run, you're going to do better. But fund managers can't do that because they need to attract people into their fund as quickly as possible, which is why they need like short, quick term gains, which usually screws them over long run.
Yeah, dude. In the little, when I was doing the discounted cash value on it, when I was talking about my price for Amazon, I was using a 20% earnings per share growth. So, and I'm getting, and I'm like, I don't understand Amazon's valuation at this point.
What are you using for terminal value?
I used 15, 20, and 25.
Okay, yeah, I was using 20. That's how I got the 2,600. But I was factoring in faster growth rates. So if it's down to 12 or 15%, yeah, that's going to crush the present value of the cash flows.
Well, I'm looking at no, dude. There is a lot of China that you want to stay away from. I trust the numbers on Alibaba. We've talked about this before. I trust the numbers on Alibaba that they're probably either in fact right or relatively close. But all you need to do is look at Luckin Coffee and that debacle.
Yeah, if you want to buy in China, you want to buy like big freaking companies that you know aren't a fraud.
10 cent Baidu, 50 cent.
And the rate of inflation.
Strongman's not impressed with that one, Nate.
IRR should be 20 or more. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get the joke.
Yeah, I agree with you there. What I did when I did it is I did all the numbers, 15, 20, and 25. Then I averaged them out, and I got 460. And that might even be too rich if Amazon's only expected to grow at 15%. Because I used a 20% growth on the EPS.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me what Paul does. It's like, if you're going to get 10%, you might as well just buy the freaking market, because you have much less risk. So I use 15 minimum, but I mean, if you really want to knock it out of the park, yeah, 20 would be a good number to use. Fine with my China. Yeah, I actually like personally, I'm a total world investor, so I'm not going to buy that FLCH index fund. That was just specifically if you wanted exposure to China by itself. But if you want emerging markets exposure, VWO is basically like a China, India ETF almost. I mean, there's other countries in that ETF, but China and India kind of dominate it. But it's not a bad pick if you want to like slightly overweight emerging markets.
Dude, I think Kathy Wood just bought Pinterest. And I did a quick look at Pinterest, and I'm just like, yeah, not interested. I'd have to go back. I look at so many stocks, and I just go, I don't know what's on the dating app. You swipe right if you don't want them, or I don't know how Tinder works. Whichever one it is, I swipe the one that I don't want. Like, get that hot garbage out of here.
What are you on, like eHarmony, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you really?
I'm looking for falling in love with the stock.
Are you on Christian Mingle?
Yeah, I mean, the guy that jokes about paying hookers to spit in his mouth is really a religious guy.
You want to convert them into hookers. That's your long-term goal. But so addressing this comment, I mean, does anybody really not doubt that me, Kevin, is a total moron that has no idea what he's doing? I mean, how do people possibly trust this idiot with these stupid stocks?
His fan base that spent a whole bunch of time eviscerating me, they thought they were hurting my feelings, but I was actually laughing the entire time that you would take up to defend this moron that's going to lose you money. Like, you can listen, if you listen to a person that says, put 95% of your money in index funds and tax-advantaged accounts, you will never lose money.
Yeah, I mean, the market.
But it's not sexy. It's not sexy. It's just, but so many people can't accept that investing isn't sexy.
Well, people just think they're so smart and they know how to value stocks when nobody on YouTube is doing any kind of analysis besides, oh, it's the future.
Yeah, special buy high, sell low. Pretty much, man. It's only a matter of time before the whole ARK thing implodes. And it's going to happen right when we have a stock market correction, which I think is going to happen at either the end of this year or definitely next year. Because if you think about it, that's when the stimulus is going to start running out of steam. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to get destroyed. And it's a good thing because then I will be buying individual stocks. Oh, you're buying Amazon dropped to $200 and you're buying it? You're stupid. Okay.
I mean, to me, it's crazy because like all these hype YouTubers, they only recently popped up, and it's all because of the pandemic and the stimulus. But if you really think about it, I don't think they're going to be around in the next 5 or 10 years because the only reason they've benefited is because of all the BS that's been going on, but it's not going to last forever.
A viewer recommended a book on technicals that I should read so I can spot the frauds on the technical analysis. I'm going to do it because I did that video on Stock Guru where I was calling him a moron the whole time because he's like, oh, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Look at this condo that I'm renting right on the beach in Thailand or wherever he is. Like, but this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And I'm like, if you have to say that over and over, it's a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm trying to get rich slowly.
Easily duped, man. I mean, if you don't know how to value stocks, you have no idea what you're doing. It's so easy to get fooled by clowns with their charts and their lines because it all looks so complex and intelligent when really it's just a bunch of garbage. All right, we have a ton of comments. Jesus. You know what, guys? We'll stop.
We're going to hold off. We're going to hold off for a minute because I got to talk to Chris. He was right. Talk to my mom today. She's getting charged 1% for managing her portfolio.
Who is she with?
And I don't know. I forgot to ask her that. She said, my money guy's reasonable. He's charging me 1%. And I'm like, but that's not reasonable. But I didn't want to argue with her. And then I'd have to look at the funds. I think when my mom croaks, right? I'm hoping it's a long time from now. And she leaves money to me. I'm going to be pissed off when I read what her actual money is in. Because I think you're right.
It's an active mutual fund. So not only is she getting charged 1%, but the expense ratios of the underlying funds are probably 1%. And then you have turnover on top of that. So that's more taxation. I mean, she's probably paying 2.5%, 3% total when you factor in everything, which is insane.
Yeah, dude. And I don't know if I'm going to have to deal with this money guy, but I'm probably going to be sitting across from him and be like, dude, you took a lot of money from my mom. You know, it's probably what's going to end up being an argument when he's sitting in there trying to convince me. And I'm going to be like, listen, you don't have a monetary trick to play on me that's going to work, you know? So I played it off because I don't want to argue with her about it. But I know now, like, oh, he's reasonable. He charges 1%. And then I'm like, God damn it. Now I got to see, are you in actively managed funds? Because you are, because you're with this guy. Otherwise, what would be the point?
Like, sorry, I have to show this comment. It's just so funny.
that was good,
oh,
man.
God. Oh, yeah, my mom died. How dare you charge her 1%?
Yeah, right. I'm sitting in there like it's like you realize your mom's like, yeah, she was 85.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll worry about that later. What I'm worried about is the expense ratio that you charged my mom.
Dude, I am so glad I was a financial advisor, and I only did it for 2 months, but I learned so much. And I cannot explain to you people how scummy they are, how disgusting they are. If you have a financial advisor, instantly call them Monday morning as soon as their office opens. Transfer your money to Vanguard or Fidelity, and then put it all in either VT or a Target retirement fund. Because they are bending you over and sticking it up your butt. Horribly.
I'm sorry, this is funny too. Kathy Woods is the reason shampoo has instructions.
Kathy Woods is a joke.
Dude, but there's a lot of YouTubers that, one guy I watched for a while was Dream Green. This guy Zeke. Seems like a cool dude. Yeah, he just does. I can tell he just doesn't know what he's doing because he's always praising Kathy Woods. And I'm like, okay, let's say I had a reasonable amount of knowledge before I started my YouTube channel, right? But I'm reading books and I'm willing to learn from other people. Like, I don't know how to do enterprise value. I'm going to figure that out because that's going to go into, that's just another trick to learn, like to see if your numbers are correct. But I think if you're dispensing advice, like this guy is clearly not learning anything. I'm like, dude, do you read books? And it's like that multi-bagger investor. He's like, it was some guy, I think it was Peter Lynch or something.
Peter Lynch.
In the cocktail theory. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's One Up on Wall Street. I just read it, man. Like, I don't know. Jeremy has been at this for 5 years, and he still has the level of stock picking ability of a special needs fourth grader that fell over and hit his head and somehow became even more retarded.
I'm telling you, the only stock that made him was Tesla. That's it. Like basically the vast majority of the gains came from Tesla. And what happens is if you buy a massive amount of speculative stocks, you're going to get one or two right. But your overall performance is going to be less than if you had bought an index fund. But everybody thinks he's a genius because he bought a speculative stock and it had a massive, insane run-up. That's the only reason people listen to him.
And, dude, if I had that run-up on that, you would have seen me selling out of the position.
You'd be insane not to. But the morons, they keep holding it. They're like, oh, it's going to do that again. It's going to go to 20 billion trillion.
Yeah, dude. What was it? Like, they did, like, in Meet Kevin's example, Tesla would have to do $3 trillion in revenue.
It's a car company. You know how annoying it is when people comment on my channel that it's not a car company? I look at the financial statements, and I just looked at their most recent earnings. The percentage of car revenues has not changed at all. It is a car company. 85% of the revenues come from cars. Now look at the other car companies and compare them to Tesla. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, look at what is happening with Ford and GM. They're up. Tesla's down on the year. Because it's just how it goes. I'm waiting for people to realize in a couple quarters, this is how I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be flat for about another year. Then people are going to realize, oh, these magic gains that we thought we're going to materialize are not coming, and we're not getting the self-driving car because Elon Musk keeps saying it'll be up end of 2021. Well, there'll be a reason why it's not up in the end of 2021. It'll be the end of 2022. And that's how it's going to keep going. Because self-driving, Kathy Woods is baked in. They're going to have robo-taxis from Tesla. And I'm like, where are you getting this information? You're not going to have that by 2025. I talk about it all the time. I'm like, your time frame for full autonomous vehicles is 2040 at minimum.
And personally, I just don't see how their huge growth percentages are going to continue because, I mean, at least in the United States, I really think the vast majority of their sales are in one state, California. Because, like, you look here, like, I'm in Virginia, you're in Florida. I've seen maybe 4 Teslas, and I see thousands of cars. So they have no saturation here, and I don't see people here spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 for a freaking electric car. That's just not the culture of this state. But California is the only state, I think, where they're actually going to maybe see growth. But I don't know how long that can last. I mean, there's only a certain amount of people in California.
Yeah, and like I see them in Florida occasionally, but it's not really that. But you're not looking at the mass adoption. And I say, yeah, but you're not factoring in this. I don't give a fuck about. I probably shouldn't have said it that way, but I'll finish it anyways. I don't give a fuck about Tesla. Like I don't care about buying their cars. Personally, like if I had a choice between buying any of their cars and the electric vehicle, you already know what I would buy. I'd buy the Ford Lightning.
No, you're gonna buy the Cybertruck, Jay.
I refuse. What if I got hit in the head and I was retarded and then I just started talking about Tesla stock and buying the Cybertruck and calling everybody morons? Like, I'm going to be laughing to the bank. This is the funniest one that's been said to me. I'm going to be laughing all the way. I'm going to be laughing driving my Cybertruck with the gains that I made off Tesla, thus proving to me that you don't know how to invest. Because you would have taken those gains and funneled them back into your portfolio and not bought something that depreciates by a third the second you drive it off the lot.
Yeah, I mean, a true wealthy the whole point of investing is that you have enough money where you can withdraw from that and it never goes away and you can live off of that money. But what all these clowns are doing with Tesla, crypto, whatever, they're trying to invest or like 10x so they can sell it and then put it into depreciating assets, which is stupid. It's like you're going to be wealthy for a couple days until you dump all your money in a bunch of garbage and then you're back to square one, which, yeah, just like buying a Cybertruck. It's like, okay, now you're broke again. Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, dude. No, he's being naughty. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's the old saying, like, life is a tragedy to those who feel and a comedy to those that think. And you gotta just laugh about all these people that are calling us morons. And then a year and a half from now, we're going to be doing call out videos like, hey, how's your portfolio looking now?
Yeah, I mean, we're in it for the long run, man. Like, we can produce videos forever. But you look at these other people, they're either like hyper focused on a couple stocks or they're hyper focused on a couple cryptocurrencies. And I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years from now, I don't see all that stuff still being a big point of conversation.
Yeah. It was like when I was arguing with John in that video, right? You saw it. And he just kept going. I kept getting him to the point where I was explaining this to him in the most logical way possible. It's not a currency. It's not a store of value. It's not an investment, right? And he just kept going back to, well, you're just not getting the utility. And I'm like, okay, dude, because I was actually getting frustrated, even though because he's my friend, I'm going to be nice about it. But I was like, bro, you are emotionally invested in this. I am not. I am stepping back. Maybe crypto will be something one day. What I do know is it's probably not going to be any of the current cryptos, and it'll be a different incarnation of it. So I'm going to step back and I'm going to watch. The number
it's
one
easy to predict. It's like of the there's nothing wrong with the technology. I mean, yeah, it's like super energy inefficient, but the technology and the cryptocurrencies themselves are two different things. If you can replicate the technology, any government can create their own cryptocurrency. And then what's the point of having all this crap floating around when you have government-backed, government-sanctioned cryptocurrencies? That's what I would use. I would use the dollar cryptocurrency.
Well, this is what nobody can explain to me, though. And this is why I really want to get a crypto guy on here to debate us, me, you, and Eric, or me, you, and Nate, is because what utility does cryptocurrency serve that the current dollar doesn't? Like, basically, the current dollar is digital currency at this point. I go in, I look at my bank account, it says you have X number of dollars here. I go to the store, I use my credit card so I get cash back rewards. Then I withdraw some money and I set that aside and I use that money to buy guns, right? Then I take my cash back rewards card and I put that into my M1 Finance account. So it's like, what are you talking about with digital currency? We already have it.
Actually, so I have the perfect guy that can come on the channel. There's a guy that's been commenting on my videos recently. He has like 7,000 subscribers, and he's basically a crypto channel. So I'll reach out to him, and we can actually have like a reasonable discussion about cryptocurrency. I'm not gonna bring up some maniac, but
yeah, because I'm actually I'm actually curious. I want to get inside the crypto community's head. Like, it's because it's going to come down to this. It's currency. No, it's not. It's an appreciating asset. Currencies decrease in value, and you want it that way to pay off your mortgage. Well, John used this example. Bitcoin's like gold, except it's not. Gold has utility. I can, make a golden Elon Musk dildo out of it, or
you have one too?
Yeah. Or I can sell the gold to a computer company so that they can manufacture chips. And then, well, it's an investment. Does it produce cash flows? It doesn't. It's not an investment.
Yeah, it does. They like make more cryptocurrency and give it to you. So yeah, it's cash flow, bro.
That's what John tried to try that one on me. Did you like how quickly I dismantled that argument? I was like, well, have you heard of staking? Like, no. It's like where they pay you a percentage, like 6%. Okay, well, my index fund, the total world market gets 9 to 10.
Well, it's not even a comparison, because when you think about a company, they're doing something. They're providing a service or they're producing a good. It's a real thing that actually affects your life. A cryptocurrency doesn't do that. It is a means of transacting between people, but in and of itself, it has no value. So you can't say crypto in any way produces cash flows, because like at the end of the day, they say it's a currency. A currency is a means to transact. That's it.
And like I might add, this is the thing. You made this point in one of your videos. So the US dollar appreciates by 2 to 3% per year. So I have a base knowledge of roundabout over the next 10 years, I should count on my dollars depreciating by 2 to 3%, right? I want that because I want to pay off my mortgage with money that's worth less than it is today. And this defeats the entire argument for cryptocurrency being a currency. Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Okay. Well, you'll also use Bitcoin to buy your groceries at the store. Okay. I'll stop you right there. Because my cash is decreasing in value, I want to get it out of my hands as quickly as possible. If it were appreciating in value, I want to hold it as long as possible. Therefore, you're not going to transact with your Bitcoin if you think it's going to $1 million. If you do, you're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the government tries to inflate the currency, because if you have deflation, nobody's going to buy anything. And that's how you have like a death spiral in your economy. The whole, like, I'm so tired of the crypto thing. It's just so stupid, and I think after all the stimmy checks and the child tax credits run out and people go back to work, I think it's going to die off. Hopefully. I could be wrong, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, that's if we can convince certain people on the left to actually stop paying people to stay home. Like somewhere in people's head, they got this idea that they don't have to work. And I'm like, if you don't work, you don't produce anything. If you don't produce anything, we'll all have nothing. Go to work. That would be my thing. Like if I was president, they're like, you're ending the $300. I'd be like, yeah. Like, what are we supposed to do? I'd be like, go to work.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you want to do?
Like, it's going to stop. I mean, if you think about the pandemic, it really hasn't been that long. It's been like a year and 4 months. I mean, a year from now, 2 years from now, it's all going to be back to normal. All this crap will be over. All these meme stocks, cryptos, stupid YouTubers, they're all going to go away, hopefully.
Well, do you think that, or do you think they're just going to move on to the next hype thing?
I don't know how they can, because all this craziness has come from all the freaking stimmy checks and Robinhood. And I just don't see all these massive quick gains in these stocks going forward, because now these people are going back to work. They're not getting $7,000-$8,000 deposited into their account so they can invest in Bitcoin or whatever. I just can't see it continuing.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of comeuppance, because like we talked about, if you honestly looked any more at Kevin's portfolio and how awful it actually is, it's all speculation.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not a profitable company, I mean, or if it has a very high price to earnings or whatever, you're probably speculating, and in the long run, you're not going to do that well.
I mean, look at a lot of these guys, man. Jeek went from, okay, he's a cute little magic guy, to, dude, you suck as a human, pushing all this cryptocurrency on your fans, man. Not encouraging that guy to sell on that speculative millionaire token. Does anybody know, is millionaire token still a thing? Has it gone to zero yet? Because I don't pay attention to this garbage.
No, I think it's still around, but it hasn't been that long. I mean, but you got to take the long view, 5, 10 years, 15 years. Yeah, I'm sure million token's still going to be around.
Yeah, dude, I still have this kid that keeps. So Doge is at 20 cents still for some reason.
20, yeah. Well, if you have enough fanatics, I mean, because they're all watching the Dogecoin millionaire and they're all watching these other YouTubers, that's what's sustaining the price, is all these stupid idiots trying to convince each other not to hold or not to sell. But I mean, really, long run, they're going bye-bye.
Dude, there was one guy, I had to just shut him up. I knew he was a teenager, and he kept telling me I have weak hands. And I just commented back. I'm like, after I put you in a rear naked choke, you're going to learn that my hand strength doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, these people don't know what freaking diamond hands is. I mean, wait until there's some kind of market crash. A lot of people are going to be selling, but I'm not. I'm going to keep buying like I always do. That's true diamond hands, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and like you said, man, U.S. growth is played out. I'm getting rid of the U.S. growth index fund and putting it in the total world.
That's the way to go. I mean, it's 45% international. And people always talk about, the internet, the VT sucks because it doesn't have the foreign tax credit. Well, if I'm not mistaken, once a fund gets more than 50% of its assets in international, it actually qualifies for the foreign tax credit. So if you really think about it, if there's some kind of crash in the U.S. stock market or international outperforms, it's going to be over 50%. And then even the arguments against buying VT are going to go away simply on the tax side of the argument.
Well, outside of, my 401k, my IRA, the only thing besides, well, I mean, if I find a great deal, I'm in. But if I'm gonna probably start hammering the VYMI ETF with extra money.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. It's the exact opposite of everything that's been going up recently. So I can't knock that. I mean, like, if I ever started making crazy money off YouTube or whatever, I'm just gonna buy VT in a taxable account once I max out my tax advantage accounts. So I'll basically be, no matter how wealthy I am, I'm going to be 95% VT because I just think that's the way.
Well, yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. There's some things that I do just for fun as like kind of an experiment. I'm not going to get out of the Vanguard Healthcare Fund, though. I'm going to keep a percentage of that in there. Its gains are just too sweet over the long time to add a little bit of juice to your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to have a little bit extra percentage of your portfolio in because, I mean, you look at aging populations, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I think healthcare is a good place to put your money long run. Unless Bernie Sanders takes over, then you're screwed.
Yeah, but even Bernie is an establishment person. As much as they call him the socialist firebrand, I'm like, don't you own 3 houses, dude? Weren't you so lazy that communists kicked you off their commune in the fucking 30s or whatever when he was young? Like, he was so lazy he got kicked out of a communist compound. How lazy do you have to be?
I mean, didn't he go on vacation in the Soviet Union? Can you imagine that? Or no, not vacation, his honeymoon. It's like, oh yeah, let's go to Russia, bro. When there's still communism there.
Okay, but here's my question. How do you think he really believes all that stuff? Because how dumb would you be to go, all right, let's see what we got in America. Okay, this place isn't perfect, but I'm living pretty good. Let's go over to the Soviet Union and look around and see how people are living. Like, what part of you is like, okay, this is more desirable than what we have in the United States?
I mean, people have like ideology goggles, you know, even if they see something, they're not going to believe it.
Yeah, I was hearing some crazy lefty shit about Cuba and on Rogan's podcast recently, where it's like we screwed over Cuba because we couldn't have a prosperous socialist country. And I'm like, but you do realize that Cuba is actually highly racist. And, you know, like there was a high disparity of wealth, and that's not the United States' fault.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to the point where I don't even debate socialists or communists anymore. It's like, whatever, say whatever you want. You're wrong. I don't care. It's stupid. It's a waste of my time. I only debate people if they have like a reasonable argument that's, you know, based on facts. Otherwise, you're just, you know, arguing with something you're not going to win.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the gun control debate. Nobody can ever actually understand where I'm like, it's just not practical. You're not going to get them, and nobody's giving them up. So you go to the socialists and you're like, listen, look, the United States isn't perfect, but it's better than most spots in the world.
Yeah, I mean, my mental state was so much better once I stopped reading the news. It's like, all right, whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to read business and stocks and keep building my IRA and my 401k. And my YouTube channel. That's all I focus on now.
Well, yeah, pretty much. That's what I do. I occasionally go on Facebook and just look at the dumb shit people are posting. And I'm like, how is this still a thing? And why are people still doing this?
Yeah, but with that, if it annoys you, just unfollow them. Because then you don't even see their crap that they're posting. So you're like, you're almost like creating your own bubble where you don't have to deal with any stupidity. You just kind of go on Facebook, you look at baby pictures or whatever, and then you get off.
I really don't even do it that much anymore. I just check Tampa Bay comedy, see what kind of like. We'll just leave it at this in case this ever gets out there. There's a lot of people in the community down here that think they're a lot better than they actually are. I admire
Nathan Roscoe.
I admire their confidence. Where if I don't get a bunch of laughs, I think I just did terribly, and then I'll watch some guy get maybe a giggle, and he'll be off stage talking to me outside about how great he is, and I'm like, I admire that level of confidence. I just don't have it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the world that just don't make sense, Jay. It's like, why does Chris Sane have 450,000 subscribers? Why does Stockbo have 500,000? Why does Meet Kevin, even though he's an idiot with investing, have 1.6 million? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but Kevin might be smarter than Stockmo. At least Kevin can think up long, elaborate BS reasons on why a stock is going somewhere. Stockmo just sits there and he goes, Nio's going to $500. Oh, why? Because it's Nio. Like, ugh.
I mean, all you have to do is say you either say the Tesla or the Amazon or the Apple of whatever country you're looking at. You find the stock that most resembles that company, and then you just pump it on your YouTube channel.
It's about entertaining and thumbnails. Yeah, but hold on a second. If it's really about that, how entertaining is LeBurvey?
I mean, his intro is pretty hot. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, guys! And he's like, then he goes, screw college, Meet Kevin is a Democrat. Yeah, he is. He talks about being a Democrat. The smart thing to do in California is to run as a Republican for governor and go, see all these people crapping in the streets and stealing from the stores? Once I become governor, that ends. Like, well, we're not gonna enforce the arrest orders. Like, yeah, you are, or you're gonna be fired. It's how that works.
Did you have a solution for the homeless problem, Jay? Remember, didn't we talk about that?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. What we do is during homeless mating season, we issue hunting tags. You're allowed to take X number of homeless. We don't want to wipe them out, but we need to cull their numbers.
The culling. What is that movie? Oh, it's The Purge. So you think we should have a purge of homeless people?
No,
like
dude, what we're gonna
a year, perhaps.
Yeah, well, like no, dude, it's just going to be a season, so a guy will be out there in an orange vest with his rifle, taking a big juicy homeless guy, like who's in the prime of his life. Like, yeah, I'm just saying, man, we'll be generating revenue for the state at the same time. Like, I'm going to get canceled for even making these comments somewhere because somebody sensitive is going to be like, he was advocating killing homeless people.
All right, Jay, if there was a law in California where you could hunt homeless people, how much would you pay for one homeless tag?
I don't know. We would have to get biologists in there to make sure that we have a sustainable homeless population because, we don't want extinction. The homeless do add some joy to our lives. They do serve meaningful purpose. They eat food from the garbage that otherwise would have went to waste.
You know what's really funny though is we can actually construct like a discounted cash flow model and really value a person's life on a monetary basis. So if you want to think about how much a homeless guy could potentially make his whole life, you discount it at, let's say, 10%, and you find out basically what he's worth right now. And that's how you'd figure out what price to pay for a tag.
I like it, dude. Like, what do you think this guy's worth? Well, he's generating about $7,000 in revenue a year through picking up aluminum cans and taking them back to the supermarket.
So I think about $10 perhaps would be a good price. You really could do that. You could look at any person and kind of like
you know that you do have a value. Honestly, you do have a value assigned to you.
Oh, 100%. It's really based on how much you make.
Yeah. Well, companies talk about this all the time. Like Walmart, like losing you as a customer at Walmart would cost Walmart would cost Walmart hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your life.
I spent a lot of money at Walmart. Like basically my entire grocery bill and my gas bill comes from Walmart. So probably $700-800 a month I give to Walmart.
Oh, I spend somewhere around that in Walmart too. I'm somewhere probably close to $800 a month I spend at Walmart.
Yeah.
Because
you hear that? If you're the CEO of Walmart and you're watching this right now, you better give me some more discounts.
There was another YouTuber out there. I had to make this comment where they were talking about some company is the largest grocer in America. I think they said Whole Foods was, and I'm like, Walmart is the largest grocer in America.
And I'm telling you, Walmart's dominating with Walmart Plus. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think it's a really good service. You can even order it that day. You can get up in the morning, order your freaking food, and you have this massive delivery like 5 hours later. It's awesome, and it's super easy to use.
Here's the thing, though, dude. Here's the difference between you and I. You got a kid. You got to save time. I'll go to Walmart and buy my own groceries because I like buying my own groceries, and I'm out of the house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
During the lockdowns, I would go in there just to get out of the house. But if you think about it, like you could make 2 or 3 YouTube videos instead of going to Walmart. Like there's an opportunity cost of spending all that time going there, waiting in line. But yeah, if you're stuck at your house and you want to get out, sure, go to Walmart. Sometimes I still go to Walmart just for the heck of it, just to do something. Whoa, Walmart. Whoa, no.
Whoa. I'll be right back. Read some comments. Getting more water.
Are you grabbing your tomahawk?
It's already next to me.
Jesus Christ, there's so many comments. All right, I'm gonna selectively pick comments, ladies and gentlemen. This is ridiculous. Where were we? I think I will sell my AMC and Tesla to buy Alibaba. No, don't do that. Don't you want to 10x, bro? Kathy Woods is a hello, strongman. How's the family? We're good. So my wife tricked me. We went and took baby photos today at like JC Penney. She's like, "Oh, we have a coupon. It's not going to cost that much."
JC
140. Yeah, they have like a photo. They take like baby photos or like portraits. There's like a portrait shop in the back of JC Penney's. $140 for freaking baby photos. I was pissed.
Dude, you did a good video on your tutoring business.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could do that. You know, if you have any kind of skill, like just go on the website, look at what's in demand. You can make pretty good freaking money. Like it blew my mind how much I made. Like I wouldn't be able to max my IRA and 401k if I wasn't doing tutoring. So I would recommend y'all check that out if you have the skills.
Well, think about it like this too. As your channel grows and you get more people wanting to hop on there with you, it's more money you can charge.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to be, because like some people on that website, like I charge 60 an hour. Some people charge 150 an hour, 200 an hour. It's insanity. So, I mean.
Well, you have a valuable skill, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a valuable skill, but I think 150 an hour for a college student, even for CPA exam tutoring, that's too much, in my personal opinion. But yeah. I mean, I definitely will eventually raise my rates. Basically, when I don't need the money anymore, I'll just kind of have that there, you know, just for like a nice side money. One day. I know you can sign up to see a list of ARK's daily buys and sells. Yeah, that's what I use to track all my buys and sells, ladies and gentlemen. I blocked the email when I sold out of ARKX a month ago.
Dude, well, those daily buys and sells are costing you money.
Yep. Bid-ask spreads, tax
transaction fees.
Turner, I love seeing the grind, man. You have a beautiful family. I always wish you the best of luck. Life is a grind. Turner, that's not true. All you have to do is buy cryptocurrency, and then you'll magically become a millionaire, okay? You don't have to work hard. That's stupid. It's 2021, bro. Thoughts on the housing market? Your thoughts?
It'll crash. I mean, I'm not really an expert in real estate, but I mean, just judging by the run-up with all the fiscal stimulus pumped into the system. I know I paid more than what my house is worth, but I plan on being here for a while.
I mean, think about it this way. Anytime you see like a parabolic increase in anything, it's usually going to stay flat or drop right after that. And it's the same thing with the housing market. Housing prices, I mean, that kind of increase is insane. I mean, I think my house's value has gone up 15, 20% over the last year. I mean, that's stupid. That's not going to last. But a house is a great investment, right? Kathy Woods sold Baba to buy Coinbase. Of course. Of course. Why not? Baba went down. That means you have to sell it, bro. Jesus, so many freaking comments. I'm going to get to the point one day where I'm going to like have super chats. Because like imagine having like 1,000 people watching you and you're trying to read comments. There's no freaking way.
Yeah, I mean, as it grows, we're going to be able to pay less and less attention because even now we're small and it's getting like, I love the comments, keep commenting, but it gets to the point where you're looking at it where we're like almost like in mid conversation, seeing something funny pop up. We want to comment on it, but we're trying to keep it on course.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do 5 more minutes of comments, but it's like I'm not even halfway through them. Strongman puts dip in his mouth. I don't put S&P 500, Nathan. I put VT. There's a big difference. All right. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's way too many freaking comments.
Well, I'm going to point this one out, though. This one is great. The crazy thing, the random homeless guy is worth more than Stockmo.
Well, I mean, if you think about it from a discounted cash flow analysis, Stockmo is way more valuable than you and I by orders of magnitude because he is so valuable to his clients and his fans that they throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at him because he's such a genius.
Dude, I'm doing because it went over well last time. Reaction videos are easy to do. I'm going to get drunk and work on this model and send it to you. And then from there, send it. Do you know how to do enterprise value?
I've looked it up. You take it's like the market cap of the company plus the long-term debt minus the cash. I think that's all you have to do.
Well, because I'll throw it out there. We run different scenarios because we could probably just come up with a price target for BABA. And
yeah, I don't like the enterprise value thing, and
okay.
it's kind of like a more complex PE ratio. But what I don't like,
I agree.
Yeah, and what I don't like about it is that it uses earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Whereas, in my opinion, you should factor in depreciation and amortization in your profitability because you're actually spending the money on those pieces of equipment or intangible assets. You're just spreading the cost over its useful life. So to me, it's stupid to not factor in depreciation. It's like, no, you bought a building for $1 million, so you should probably count that as some kind of expense over as long as the building lasts. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan.
Time, I'm coming for a value for BABA. My value for BABA was about $1,000 10 years from now. And that's about what Cameron Stewart got too. When he did in his discounted cash flow, he got about 1,000. And the lowest numbers I'm getting, the lowest number for a share of BABA I'm getting is like $460. 10 years from now.
I did a discounted cash flow to kind of figure out what a good price would be for me to get a 15% return. And I got like 320, 330. So, look where it's trading at right now. To me, it's an obvious buy as long as you can stomach the volatility and you have a long-term mindset. And there's always the risk that, they could be delisted. That's possible.
Dude, like 2 years ago when I started buying BABA, nobody was talking about it. I don't even know how I discovered that company. I just started looking into it and I was like, this thing is criminally undervalued.
All of China's undervalued. So, if you look at VT kind of tells you how big each company or each country is in the world. China's market cap in VT is 3% of VT, 3.34%. And their GDP is catching the United States. China is massively undervalued from a fundamental standpoint, which is why, that the reason it is because of communism. It's massively undervalued.
You can't. This is the thing I say about the CCP. They're not communists. They're authoritarians. They're authoritarian capitalists. That's what they are.
The best description I ever saw was it's a fascist government, which kind of makes sense because in fascism you have a semi-capitalist society. You just have the government that's a lot more powerful and it's a one-party state. So I would think about China as Nazi Germany without exterminating people. Well, not even that.
Wrong. I was about to be wrong.
Never mind.
Yeah.
They're almost like Nazi Germany, except they're probably not military.
There's 3 million Uyghurs that would disagree with you right now, making your Nike wait, they're not committing genocide over here. If I don't put out 4 pairs of Nike an hour, I'm going to the gas chamber, dude.
I thought it wasn't Nike a high-rated ESG company or something like that.
Tesla was rated a 20 and Nike was rated a 65, and I just started cracking up. I'm like, the company that doesn't use slave labor is lower than the company that uses slave labor.
Dude, ESG investing is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Because at the end of the day, none of these companies are ESG. They're all doing something sketchy or disgusting somewhere along the line. You just have to look into it.
I said this in one of my videos, or I might have said it on my podcast. I said something to the effect of, I'm like, look, with all of this ESG stuff, you could be sitting in the boardroom going, yeah, and we're this, that, and this. If we go this much ESG, you'll get a 2% lower return. I'm going to be like, burn the Amazon to the ground.
Yeah, dude, 2% is massive.
Yeah,
massive.
and so it's like this is nobody. All this is a bunch of corporations going to the current Gen Z or generation like, oh yeah, this is good for the environment. Ignore the fact that we're digging up cobalt using children in Africa. You know, they're just throwing.
They hired like 2 extra women. They hired 2 women on their board, bro. So you have to invest in them. Oh, Strongman posted a comment. What is this?
All right.
I'll be right back. Are you gonna stay on?
I'm going to read some comments. I can't put it up because it's not mine, but Meet Kevin is making governor videos to distract his fans of his losses from Tesla and AMC options. Yeah, I mean, the comeuppance is going to come for a lot of these guys, man. It's just time. Like Jeremy, I think, is going to get in a lot of trouble with the SEC. I don't think he realizes what's going on. Walmart is trash. I mean, a lot of the people that go there are, but I mean, I get my steaks from there. Any other store, please? Read comments by Nate Roscoe. I hate Walmart. Good evening. Good evening. Bruh, fries is better. Do you have a fries where you live? I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. Wife is savage. $69 an hour is a good price. We thought that 3 years ago, and it hasn't stopped. Buy VT so you won't catch VD. Stockmo is a reminder of why public schools have to lower their passing grades. That's a good one, Nate. Everything Money roasted Andre Geek. Meet Kevin. They are hype YouTubers, and that hype in every vid. Yeah, they did. I've seen both of those videos. Paul coming down on him like a savage is what persuaded me to stop holding back because I was like, no, I just don't care anymore. Back in 2017. Okay, hello, good vibes. Add 2 more people and you'll have a Boglehead money to compete with millennial money. You know, we should do that one day. Once Nate's out of timeout next week, we can consider a 4-man room if we don't get that crypto guy on to debate. And as far as to compete with millennial money, I call them the 4 morons of the financial apocalypse.
That was pretty good. I like that. I'm going to steal that from you, and then you can sue me. And we can crazy lawsuit war.
Feel free, man. But I was sitting there and I was playing around with it. I'm like, these guys are in like, I'm out on Graham too, because he knows what they're doing and he's just not stepping in to say something, like saying to Meet Kevin, like your advice is shite and it's going to ruin somebody's. See, this is the worst part about it. An 18, 19-year-old kid who loses their whole portfolio because of these guys, good. Chalk it up to a life lesson. Learn what you're doing. But there are actually older people who just think that these kids know something that they don't, and they're following their advice, and they're going to get wiped out in a correction, and they don't have the time to recover from it.
I mean, it's a story as old as time. It happens every freaking bubble. Every bubble. And who always wins in the long run is the Boglehead investor. So you just have to have supreme patience, because the hardest part of being a Boglehead is not changing your strategy as market conditions change.
You could be smart like me and read books.
Well, hold on. Jay, whose book is that?
Christopher Bell.
Christopher
Bell. I'm on page 50. Dude, I've started your book now. I got to do my Peter Lynch book report. I already started your book. It's good, dude.
How far have you got into it?
52 pages. It's good. It's written. What I like about it is when you read the little book that beats the market, it's written at a low level, so it engages the reader more. Your book is just such an easy read to go through. You know what I mean? Like, you don't struggle. You go through a page and like, okay, next one. Some of these investing books just get, I think this book is going to be good, but I also think that this is going to probably be a chore. Whereas your book.
So honestly, like I read the book, but they have cliff notes in the book. That's basically what I focused on. Or yeah, it's like summaries of the chapters, because you read the book itself, it's painful, man. I mean, it was written in what, the 20s or 30s?
Yeah. Well, I thought about torturing myself with security analysis.
I mean, Jay, you only have like 10 years left before you die of cirrhosis of the liver. So you might as well just not waste your time.
Yeah, dude. But like, yeah, that really is what I liked about your book. Like, it just flows. It's like, okay, this is all easy to understand, and you're going through it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could professionally edit it. I mean, I think it could be improved pretty significantly, but it's just the cost of doing that is just too much, especially if you're a new author. It's not worth it.
It's fine. I've caught a few grammatical errors here and there, but that's just because you didn't have a second set of eyes on it. I do that when I'm writing my stand-up. Like, I'll write, and I know the jokes, and I'm writing it out, and then I'll go back and look, and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to put an I in there because I was saying it to myself as I was writing it out. That's why Hemingway used the quote, all first drafts are shite.
Yeah, even 10th drafts are shite. Like, I mean, I read that book a couple times, but, you know, it's just, after a while, it's like, God, I have to read this book again to find grammatical errors. It's like, shoot me in the head.
Yeah. But, I mean, overall, honestly, dude, for $3, you give a lot of great information in there.
I finally am advertising my own book. Can you believe that? Jay has been advertising my book better than me.
I gave a guy out last night. We started talking. I decided to eat crab again. I went to Red Lobster and started talking to the bartender. Somehow just the subject of investing came up, and he started talking about some of the YouTubers. And I was like, bro, these people don't know what they're talking about. So I gave him Everything Money, Sven Carlin, your channel, Eric's channel, and my channel to watch.
Yeah, so I actually have a guy that I text every once in a while, and he was saying he like referred people to my channel. And they're like, he doesn't have enough subscribers, so you can't, I don't really know if I should listen to him or not, which is freaking sad. So that's just how it is, man. It's kind of like it's a snowball. It's like the more subs you have, the more legitimate you seem, and the faster you grow. So people just aren't going to listen to us until we have like 1 billion subscribers.
Well, that's why I am attacking a lot of these large YouTubers, because at a certain point they're going to have to deal with us. And then when Stockmo comments to me, I'm going to say, you're welcome to come on our channel and try and debate us. And then I'm going to be like,
you'd be surprised who comment. Like they'll comment back. Like I had Graham's girlfriend comment on my channel. Savannah Smiles.
Yeah, I saw that. I feel so dehumanized. Like, really? You're a public figure. He didn't say anything bad, and most of it was parody anyways. Like, do you think that you're immune from criticism?
This may sound sexist, but I think a lot of girls can't handle like criticism as much. And I was really concerned. I was like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't like kill herself or something like that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to delete this. And it wasn't a bad video, but I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. I just deleted it.
You made the smart decision. A dude, I'm going to go after. And I mean, if you're a woman and you come after me because I criticize your investing in the advice you're giving, because there's some of them out there too, I'm not taking it down. But it will be solely about me saying what you're saying is stupid and dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, people will comment on your videos. Like I had Meet Kevin, Stock Guru, and then I've commented on other people's videos, and they have responded. So, I mean, eventually, you're right. They're going to have to address what we're saying because we're not just talking trash. We actually have very good points about why all these people are full of crap. So one day, we're going to take them out, Jay. You and I.
If I get Daddy Sven to comment back to me, man, these guys have to know we're out there. I reviewed Sven's free course, and he said thanks for the review because he watched it because I was like really complimentary. I'm like, dude, for what the money, you're not getting charged anything. Read through it. This guy, you know.
Oh yeah, Jay. He actually responded to an email I sent him.
Good.
Are you jealous? Remember that? Remember I emailed him inviting him on, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm too busy."
Yeah, no, I know.
That's a nice way of saying you're too small, but
yeah, no, I don't, and I wouldn't blame him for that. If like I ever build up an audience, I'm just gonna make it so if you're a small YouTuber and I like what you're saying, I'll do your channel.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because like I don't care how big you are. If you have 2 subscribers, but you're like super educated and you know how to do discounted cash flows and you know the US stock market's overvalued, like hell yeah. Come on my channel, I'll pump you up. As long as you're not a freaking loser that pumps individual stocks.
Yeah, I mean, even if you do pump individual stocks, but you actually know what you're doing, I want to hear from you. I could build a portfolio of 18 to 30 core stocks. I could do it. I don't want to. I have other stuff I want to do. I want to look at really crappy companies. Like I have fun reading through the 10. I'm actually having a good time reading through the risk section of some of these companies.
Isn't that awesome? Like I remember I was like, man, this is a gold mine. There's so much crap in here.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have to address this comment. This is very important. Some YouTubers are saying the standard taxable brokerage account is better than the 401k. They actually have some compelling reasons. What do you think? All right, look, ladies and gentlemen, I am firmly convinced it is human nature to constantly trade in and out of stocks or in and out of mutual funds. So even though they give you like a theoretical example where, oh, maybe if you had this taxable account and you did this, it would be better in the 401k. It's complete BS because once you put your money in a tax advantage account, you can trade in and out of stocks and mutual funds every day and you never pay taxes again. But I mean, if you have a traditional 401k, when it comes out, you're taxed at ordinary income rates. But while it's in that account for 20 or 30 or 40 years, there's no capital gains, there's no dividends. You're going to have way more money. And on top of that, if you put it in a Roth, I mean, you never pay tax again. So if you have a Roth 401k, I don't care what some freaking stupid YouTuber says, put it in your Roth 401k.
Here's all you have to know. Here's the only question you have to ask yourself. Would Peter Thiel be better off if he had those massive gains outside of his Roth IRA? Is when he turns 59 and a half, he has billions of dollars that he can pull out of there that he will not pay taxes on. So
yeah, dude.
I actually, where I first started, well, I thought Andre Jeek was entertaining for a little bit. And I'd watch his stuff just out of curiosity. I'll watch some YouTubers just to see what they're doing. But when he started talking about why he doesn't use a Roth IRA, I was like, okay, I'm done. I can look past the fact that you have 200 individual stocks, which tells me you don't know what you're doing, which tells me your buddies don't know what they're doing because they're not telling you. Also, meet Kevin. Like, hey, man, having 100 individual stocks is stupid. Like, but, I mean, even some guys that actually know what they're doing, when they tell me that they don't max their tax advantage accounts, I'm out. Because they're like, well, I want to access that money before I turn 59. And I'm like, okay, but you still could.
Most people are not going to retire before 59. I mean, that's just the cold, hard truth. I mean, even I probably won't. I mean, yeah, I have a decent amount saved, but I want $10-20 million one day. And until I get that, no, I'm not retiring. And you're going to want to work anyway. So you might as well just lock the money away in a tax advantage account. And then when you're actually too freaking old or you're burnt out, then you can access the money and you're set for the rest of your life. It's so much better to put in a tax advantage account.
Here's my question though. If you're like a middle class dude, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, if you look at the highly successful people, like you look at Joe Rogan could literally just go sit on the beach, but he does a million different things. He works hard. He's still working. Like, what is your goal, to retire so you can do nothing? Like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
You'll become an alcoholic and you'll die within 2 years if you retire early and you don't do anything. Which is why like that's when it kind of dawned on me. It's like, okay, even if I had enough money where I was financially independent, I'm still going to do something and I'm still going to generate income until I literally can't do it anymore. So you might as well lock it away in a tax advantage account. It's as simple as that.
I'll put it to people this way. If I won $20 million tomorrow on the lotto, I would still max my tax advantage accounts every year. Every year I would put $6,000 away. So whoever these YouTubers saying that are retarded, because you're just subject.
Here's why they do it. It's because they have to convince you that they will do better than the market. Because if you put your money away in a tax advantage account or in a 401k, you're not buying into them. They want you to give them your money. And if you buy into the tax advantage account thing, they can't make any money off of you. That's the sole that is the whole basis of Wall Street. They're convincing you that they can beat the market, and that's why they always like cast doubt on index funds. Is because they want your freaking money, and they try to confuse you and make you give their money to them, which is ridiculous. You got to see the fraud, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, there's a lot of hokey stuff going on. The PPC Ian, he does that. He's like, oh, I don't, and I'm like, okay, dude. If you're generating a lot of money to begin with, it just makes sense to max your tax advantage account no matter what.
Yeah, dude. My biggest mistake is not maxing my Roth. Like, I was a moron for not maxing my Roth until like the last 2 years. So I was like, I'm going to retire at 42, so I need to save money. And now I'm like, in a taxable account. Now I'm like, I'm not going to retire at 42. I actually want to do stuff so I don't, atrophy and die. So, I mean, I could have had $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in a Roth IRA had I not been a moron. But now I only have like a fraction of that. So if you're a young man or woman right now, max your freaking Roth IRA in your tax advantage accounts. Thank you.
Yeah, and the best thing to do, I thought of this before I watched their video, but I was like, dude, if I was a parent, man, I'd just start a custodial account and every year put $1,000. Before I even watched that Everything Money video, I was like, then when the kid was 14, 15, I'd be like, listen, I'll match every dollar that you put in here from work if I could afford it.
Here's the thing with that. Your kids might turn out to be like complete losers. And the last thing you want to do, you never know. I mean, you could do your best, but they might turn out to be losers.
And if they spend the money, that's on them. And that's what I would tell them.
But in my opinion, I think it's better to just like control the money yourself. And if they turn out to be, respectable, responsible people, then you can gift them the money tax-free. I mean, you have to pay tax when you sell the investments, but you can gift them the money once you know they're going to grow up to be decent people. But if you put that money in like a custodial account, like a UTMA or an UGMA, it basically just transfers into their name no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it. So if they turn out to be a crackhead loser and you put all this money into it, well, you got to give them the money because that's what's baked into the contract, which...
Good, then he has an infinite money loop to generate crack. Everybody's got money.
Yeah, so like I haven't done a custodial account. I'm probably not going to do one, but like I'll put money aside for college, and then if they have a job, I'll put money in their 401k or IRA. I mean, but yeah, I'm not going to throw massive money into a.
I wouldn't throw mass money in there. But like I said, if you put $1,000 away for him and you really taught him, see, if I had 2 kids, I'm not the parent type of dude, but if I had 2 kids and one of them turned out to be a crackhead, but the other one got it and they were saving their money as a teenager and that one ended up extremely wealthy, I'd be like, look, it was worth the sacrifice to lose that money for fucking crackhead kid. And then I would sit down with my kid and explain to him, like, if you don't turn your life around, I'm giving you nothing. I'm not giving you money to blow on drugs.
Yeah, most likely when I die, the vast majority of whatever fortune I have is going to like probably some Civil War, like preservation society. I actually have a Civil War interest, besides stocks. Everybody, if you didn't know, but
it's actually, I'm more of a World War II guy, but.
Yeah, I used to really like World War II, but I just read so much about it for like so many years. It's like, all right. I mean, I've had.
Dude, you want to know what's a tough read? A Knight's Cross about Erwin Rommel. I read that when I was 23. So
wasn't that when he was in World War I, like a lieutenant or something?
It includes World War I, but it talks about like his entire life. So basically, what I'm saying is my reading should have been reversed. I should have been reading all of these books when I was 23, and now I could be sitting.
Jay, hold it up. Same time.
Now, I could be on a Saturday night reading A Knight's Cross because I would have known everything I needed to know, like when I was young. And because I just think I'm like, if you put my brain back to when I was 16, even if you stripped it of like which stocks are going to be winners and losers, I'd be a millionaire today.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some comments. Sorry, I got distracted there. I'm actually drinking. So I had a margarita that was brought to me, and then I'm finishing my wife's margarita. So I'm actually having a good night tonight, but we'll see what happens when my kid is screaming at 3 a.m. Jesus Christ, there's so many freaking comments. God, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna get to the point where we can't even really do it.
Yeah. Let me look. I mean, if any jump out to you, let me know. What the hell does this mean? I'm the ultimate Sigma male? Am I Sigma male, Jay?
Nate, you lost me. Ted Kaczynski. You can explain that one next week when you're out of timeout.
He actually posted it twice just to make sure they saw it. How's the meat at Walmart? It's perfect. I've never had better meat than Walmart meat.
Bro, I go and I get 2 thick ribeyes, and then I cut them in half, smash them down, and I got 8 steaks for the week.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get like Whole Foods style meat at Walmart, but it's good quality. Like I have chicken breast, chicken drumsticks, pork, hamburger meat. You can get some good crap from Walmart. Trust me, it's worth a delivery fee to type some stuff on your phone and then have the food brought to you. It saves you like hours out of your day. Yeah, there's so many freaking comments. Sven Rakon's and my wife's boyfriend's girlfriend's pictures. Your wife's boyfriend, very nice. What's up with these? It's like all these cucking memes. I don't understand.
Dude, it comes from Wall Street Bets.
Oh, God.
Because they'd be in there. My wife's boyfriend bought me a PS5.
I mean, Wall Street Bets is funny, but doesn't it get boring, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, like they pump the same crap over and over again.
What about these guys that are 50 years old, like stock mode, that are using Wall Street Bets terminology? I'm like, you guys are so lame. Like if you walked up to me at a party, I'd spit my gum in your face. Like if Stock Mo tried to talk to me at a party, he'd be like, "Hey Jay, how's your tendies?" I'd be like,
"How's your tendies?" Dude, Stock Mo, I don't understand it. He has no charisma. He's ugly as hell, and he's just a moron. Like, how does he have that many subscribers? I don't understand.
I'm I'm out on the fact that you named your cat Tesla Cat.
God, I'm lost. We're never gonna succeed, Jay. We don't have the charisma of Stockmo. I tried showing someone the video of you saying Dogecoin had sex with Graham's girlfriend, and then I realized I couldn't find it. I was very disappointed. Look, I don't want people like doing serious harm to themselves. Like I think Stock Guru can take the heat, and Meet Kevin can take the heat, but when it comes to Graham's girlfriend, it's like I'm not dealing with the freaking drama. No, it's just not worth it to me.
Tell you what I'm gonna do to Stockmo. Want to know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to his house, take Tesla Cat, kill it, bury it at the pet cemetery, and then bring it back to him. So he's trying to do a video, and that thing is just viciously scratching his face to death.
So, out of all the YouTubers, who is your most hated YouTuber? Besides Nathan.
It's hard, man. There's so much. Like, Jeremy, you talk about Stockmo being a charisma void. Jeremy Labervy is a charisma void too. He's a void in the force, man. Like, his jokes are lame. I'm just like, and I sit there and I listen to him and I go, this dude has no economy of words. Listening to him speak is painful. Much less his reasoning. Planet 13. Oh, yes. Increasingly negative cash flows. Great choice. In a market with no mo. Like, because people are going to pay for overpriced weed. That's not how that works.
You know, the funniest thing about that video was he went there and he's like, oh, yeah, I bought this lotion for my mom or something like that. You know, he went and bought, like, on a separate receipt, like a ton of weed. He can go back and just, get freaking baked. Like, that guy has to smoke weed like crazy.
Well, what about that guy's email where he said, it's just Jeremy looking stoned all day. What do you think of this stock? Like, if you asked me about a stock, I have no idea. Like what UPS was brought up. I'm in here. I'm like, I have no idea. I haven't looked at it. There's 10,000 stocks in the world. I can't know any something about every stock. I mean, I have to go look at it. And then after I look at some metrics, then I want to sit around and think, do I actually understand the marketplace? Because I use this example all the time, and I will continue to use it. Domino's outperformed Google. I understand Domino's far more than I understand Google. Like, what does Domino's do? Delivers crappy pizzas. Okay, I get that.
To be honest, I think Domino's pizza is trash. It's really surprising that they have outperformed Google.
It is
since their IPO, right?
Yeah, dude. You know where I go around here. There's this nice little wood-fired pizza. It's a chain, but their pizza's so good. It's like Italian wood fire. I go there like once a week, get a pizza, and just crush it.
Yeah, it's like I live in this really small town. It's like this really close-knit community. So like most of the stores here are like homegrown, like local stores. So they have like an Italian place. They have like one place is called Mr. C's. It's just like a local place. Best freaking hamburgers and sandwiches I've ever had. And then you have like a nice little pizza store, like just amazing food. And there's no chains. And then they have a Domino's like somewhere in like the shopping mall in our town. No, freaking trash. Would never.
Dude, I don't like chain pizza. The best pizza is always a guy who owns like 2 or 3 pizza joints or one. They have the best. They always have the best chicken wings, and they always have the best pizza. Like
100% agree. I mean, if I had to choose a chain for pizza, I'm trying to think what I would do.
Papa John's is not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad.
Honestly, I can't even think of a chain that has good pizza. Like, I'm completely drawing a blank. That's why I don't eat pizza normally, because like they just all suck.
Bro, you'd eat this wood fire pizza. There's a lot of places. There's a lot of places down here that have people that do the wood fire thing. And I'm telling you, that just makes the pizza like next level. They bake it for like maybe like 6 minutes in there, and it just comes out, and you got a nice crunchy crust.
Yeah, so like when I was a kid, I lived in Italy for 5 years because my dad was in the military. Like real legit Italian pizza is the best freaking thing you can ever have. And I've never found any kind of equivalent in the United States. So just because I had that pizza, I just can't find anything here that's like even remotely close.
You know why though? Part of the reason is because they don't have the genetically modified plants that go into their pastas and dough. That's why they're so much better. Like we like you look at Italian bread, man. I mean, and then take Wonder Bread with that chemical soup and just roll it into a ball. And like you could use that ball to when Stockmo's pushing Tesla to just run up and slap it on the side of his face. You can't do that with real Italian bread, dude.
Would you eat a pizza with dough that was slapped on Stockmo's disgusting face?
No.
Dude, I would throw that into a nuclear plant just to make sure that was like sanitized enough.
Probably not sanitized enough at that point. It's probably going to be like Chernobyl. You're going to have to bury it like in a lead-lined coffin and then cover it in concrete.
What is wrong with this world? I don't know, man. Like today I'm just feeling kind of depressed. I'm like, how is this possible? What is going on? I don't understand.
To the audience, in all fairness, if the world was just and Stockmo was down at the truck stop and every YouTuber that was large was actually like a good person giving advice, we wouldn't complain about the grind. It's just the fact that we can't understand why people are listening to these morons that aren't entertaining or smart.
Yeah, no, I mean, like people think we're haters, but like Everything Money, if they had 1 billion subscribers, we'd be like, that makes sense. They give good advice.
I give out Everything Money and spend. I give out all of our channels, but I actually will tell people, I'm like, you start with Everything Money, then you can come over to us because we do a lot of entertaining. But I'm like I can't say enough good things about like what Everything Money is doing. And so that makes me not a hater. I just don't like people that rip off their fans because I think it's immoral.
Yeah, I mean, because like I've been a Boglehead since I was 22. And for the first 10 years of my investing career, I didn't hear anything about like stupid hype stocks. And then all of a sudden I go on YouTube and there's all these freaking morons. And it's like overwhelmingly like repulsive to me. And then I was like, there's no way these guys can like possibly be as successful as they are. And that's kind of what inspired me to make a YouTube channel. It's like, this is so wrong and so disgusting. I have to say something. You know?
That's what I'm bringing back my M1 videos, but that's why I started doing that, because I'm going to show you like over time. I plan on doing that up until the day I die of cirrhosis of the liver. So like if I can get, so if I can show you a 5 to 10 years of investing and how it pays, I'm actually surprised already after a year and a half, just like $30 and then $60 from my Visa rewards cash back, how much this portfolio is growing from just dividends being reinvested.
Dude, it's nuts how fast you can make money from index funds. It's crazy. All you got to do, if you think about a 401k, $19,500 plus a match, plus your Roth IRA, and then you have the market's returns on top of that. It's nuts how fast you can get rich. And you don't have to trade stocks. You could be an idiot and just buy index funds.
I took the pie out because this is just good investing. My first cream pie, I liquidated that. It's 85% returns. I'm not going to get that over the next year. I already know that. But what is amazing to me is my portfolio, Ramsey's Wet Taint, that's returned like 55.6% since I started it. I did. And it's like, so you have these YouTubers who are like, I got a 60% return last year. And I'm like, Yeah, that's great. I got a 55% return that I didn't have to do anything for. And in the free time, I went and banged your mom. Like
Did you leave the dad hanging?
yeah, I left you a PlayStation. You know,
Jeremy does kind of look like you, Jay.
God, if that was my kid, I'd kill myself.
Yeah. Jeremy is not an attractive man.
If I found out LeBurvey was my kid, I'd kill myself in a live stream on YouTube.
Actually, just to be able to see that, Jay, I'm gonna fake a DNA test. Watch that.
Well, dude, I was I don't want to give away the location, but Phoenix, Arizona, there are a lot of come home from the bars where I didn't exactly use protection.
Jesus Christ. Dude, I'll be opposite, man. Like, I'm so paranoid of like STDs and stuff. Unless I like really knew the person, I would never do that.
Dude, once you get untreatable gonorrhea, man, after that, it's pretty much just like, why worry?
I mean, if anybody's going to be my father, I would want it to be Jay Nagy. There's nobody else.
But yeah, like, I don't do that anymore because I'm like, that was dumb. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I am amazed that I never got an STD. I don't know how it's possible.
Do you know for certain? Have you been tested?
Yeah, I got tested. I got tested in the military. I've been tested since I've been out. But like really my bad phase was in Phoenix where it's just like 2:00 in the morning and I'm talking to some girl and I'm like, I really don't want the party to end. I'm going to go back to my apartment. And trust me, these were women of ill repute.
You got lucky, man. Like me, I was married throughout my 20s. And then, now I'm married again in my 30s. And I had a girlfriend from 28 to now, so I'm married. So, like, I haven't been, like, slaying it. So, luckily, that has kind of prevented me from getting a lot of diseases. I've been very monogamous.
He's probably smarter because, I mean, you would have been the guy that lived through syphilis. I would have been the guy trying to convince him when there's a hole in my face that I don't have syphilis. Like, nah, it's just a bug bite. Like, bro, it looks like syphilis.
In the 1800s, it actually paid off to be a virgin, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so if you don't feel bad.
Dude, when people like, I'm not a religious person, but when people talk about religion, there's actually a real reason why those laws were in place. Those religious laws is because of STDs. That's where they're like, get yourself a virgin, stay with her. Don't put your wiener anywhere else.
Well, plus it's also like illegitimate children. Like we have a strong government now that provides welfare. But if you think like 200-300 years ago, if you're a woman and you had a kid out of wedlock, I mean, who's going to support you? It's impossible. So like it all makes sense to me. There was a whole reason, like you said, behind why they did that. But now there's a reason. Like, I don't understand why that was like that. They were so stupid, bigoted.
Well, when they talk about pork, trichinosis, that's why. Because if you didn't cook it properly, you got worms that went throughout your body and stayed with you for life, and they probably killed you, and there was nothing you could do about it. So there's always a reason why people do things that, especially we look back on, and we go, why are they so dumb? Like in 3 years when we're going to look back on this bubble and be like, why was everybody so dumb? But, so is what it is.
Our fans are going to look back and be like, hey, at least we maxed our tax advantage accounts and bought broadly diversified index funds, and we're doing great. But everybody else's fans are going to be like, down at the truck stop, giving me $5 while I finger their buttholes.
But I mean, that honestly, a lot of the reason why I called Jeremy and all those guys are morons and I absorbed the hate from the internet isn't to like increase my Jedi resistance to the Sith ways. It's because It's because I want that to be on record. So somebody goes, well, this guy was saying it way before that this guy's a moron. This guy was saying that Kathy Woods is not. See, at first, man, I made the mistake of getting lured in by the charismatic rock star fund manager. And then I just started looking at the stocks. And I was like, this woman doesn't understand disruptive innovation. I do. I watch videos on artificial intelligence. Like, I'm a nerd who reads about 3D printing and where it's going. Like, she doesn't understand any of this when it applies to the business world. This is all just hype. CRISPR, okay, that's the technology of the future. Is it? Because in their 10K specifically says one of the dangers they run into is a more efficient technology coming along. And technology has a habit of doing that. So screw Kathy Woods, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Kathy Woods sucks. All right, let's get through the final comments and then we'll call it a night.
Yeah, I'll let you go deal with your alcoholism while I diligently.
Yeah, Strongman had too many margaritas.
Did you?
Dude, my tolerance is gone, man. Holy shit. Excuse me. Holy crap. There's so many comments. Jeez, I don't even know where to start. It's like overloading my brain. You know what? Here's a good one right here. Sorry, if I don't pull up your comment, don't sue me. Talk about Robinhood. We can close it out with Robinhood. What are your thoughts on the Robinhood IPO, Jay?
I haven't really looked too closely. You looked at where they were making their money, and aren't they making their money from? They're selling their customers information, right? To the hedgies. Is that the case?
No, they're not doing that. They make their money from trading. So if you're a long-term investor and you're like buy and hold, and you like to invest that way in companies that aren't like screwing people over, Robinhood is disgusting because what they do is they encourage you to trade as much as possible because every trade generates some revenue. So they make the vast majority of their money from options, and then it's stocks after that, and then it's cryptocurrency. So
they're going to implode.
Yeah, I mean, like if you think of it, like once all the hype dies down, what is their basis for profitability? Like how are they going to keep making such crazy amounts of money when all the retail investors get burned by a bear market?
They can't, because all of his options, all the rise in options is just another indication of a frothy market. The reason I was telling you that, like, it was an article I read that just cemented it to me. I forget by who it was, but it was a famous guy. And they basically were talking about, look, man, the stimulus did what it could do, and we're running to the end of it.
Yeah, like, trust me, guys. I've been investing for 10 years, and Jay, you've probably been investing longer than I have because you're like, what, 60 years old?
Yeah, I've been investing since 1942.
Yeah, he was in World War II. I've never seen such stupidity. 10 years, like ever since I started working, I was 22 years old. I've never seen such stupid garbage in my entire life. There's no way this is going to continue. And once it ends and you have like a flat market or a down market, all these losers on YouTube, all these stupid hype stocks, they're all going to go away because that's just how it is. You just have to have the long view and understand where you're at in the current moment.
Negative 7% returns for the decade. Now, a lot of you are going to be complaining. Don't. This is good for you if you don't retire for 30 years. This is exactly what you want, whether it crashes or it's flat. If it's flat, good. I'm buying, and then earnings will catch up to where the stock market should be. But when I was throwing out my Amazon numbers, the thing is you have to have room for the for the people that are overly pessimist. So when the crash comes, there's going to be guys who aren't paying attention to the fact that these same stocks they're complaining about are now good buys.
I mean, like the perfect example is the Chinese stocks. I mean, everybody's like so scared and they're trashing the stocks because they crashed. So therefore, because they crashed, they must be bad stocks. That is the logic of even Wall Street. Like they're all stupid. So you can't listen to anybody. You have to look at the company by yourself, do your own analysis, and figure out what is a good buy point for this company. And then if the stock price goes below that buy point, buy the freaking stock and then just ignore it forever because you know you bought it at a good price.
I'll put it to you this way. If BABA drops to like 165, I will sell every cat in my neighborhood to get money for it.
I know a very specific cat that I can get from you that I would gladly pay for.
Is his name Tesla Cat?
No, I'm talking about your butt pussy.
No, I'm good on that. But dude, no, I like. Yeah, you're right, man. When you texted me and you're like, Bob is getting crushed, didn't it say good? Said something like that.
Yeah, y'all should be. I mean, like the key point is you need, as long as you know a good buy point for the company, then you can buy the dip. But for something like Robinhood, where it's so new, it's so based on hype and idiots trading, during a pandemic where they got stimulus checks. Even though the Robinhood IPO dipped, that doesn't mean it's a good time to buy. A dip doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy it. It only matters if you're buying it at a good price that'll give you whatever return you want. So I would say don't touch Robinhood. I think it's a trash company, and I think it's kind of disgusting. We're such good people. We're trying to help the small investor. You're not helping the small investor.
I don't like. This just reaffirmed it. It was something I noticed. I'm like, IPOs always start out and then they crash. Okay, so we've had like a couple good IPOs of the last decade. But here's the thing. I'm going with Peter Lynch on this one when he said Walmart's IPO was in like 1971 or 72. You could have sat it out for 8 years to see the revenues coming in. And then you're like, oh, this is a cash flow machine. I'm going to buy it now. And you would have done quite well. It's just that I don't understand. I will listen to people at work talk about the research they're doing to buy a new car. And then like, yeah, I just bought cannabis stocks. Me. Why? Well, because it's going to be legal.
Oh, what's the gross margin on the cannabis companies? What's the operating margin? What's the net margin? What's the free cash flow? Is it improving? What's margin?
Yeah, dude. So it is what it is, man. It's we're just gonna have to sludge through it. I just say you heard the term in the military. Just embrace the suck, because it's pretty much investing, anyways.
Oh, I'm a very patient man. But just to conclude this live stream, open up a Roth IRA, access your 401k, max them out, and buy total world stock market index funds, and then turn off the financial news, except for me, so I can get YouTube ad revenue, and then enjoy your life. And you will be richer than 99.9% of all the other idiots on YouTube. That's it. All right. VT. There you go. Look at all the freaking comments, dude. The comments.
Hold on. I want to write this company down that he's talking about.
Airtime. Yeah, I think he commented on one of my videos too, but we'll look at it, Julius. If you have any companies you want me to look at, email me. It'll take me a while to get to it because I have so much crap going on, but just email me anything you want me to look at, and I'll. You
can look on my page too. I included an email on there now. I forget who kept asking me to do Advent Brands. That's the company that Jeremy got in trouble for, but I'm having trouble finding their financial statements online. I don't know if that's because of the penny stock or what, but that's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's sketchy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it.
Well, dude, Aerotime International is a penny stock from Wolf of Wall Street, you idiots. I don't know, man. No. I don't have everything. That's funny though, because I would have been like, I would have looked that up, Googled it, and been like, I heard about it on the Wolf of Wall Street clip would have pulled up, and I would have started laughing.
I think he's posted that before. I think it was him, but we're so dumb we forget about it.
Because I'm momentarily talking serious, So I didn't like really look for the joke, but that is funny.
Imagine if we looked it up. We're like, oh, it's got great cash flow. Wow, man, it's really good.
All right, I'm at ease with it.
All right.
There's the funniest,
ladies and gentlemen.
The funny before we go, this one guy kept calling me gay in the comments, and I go, oh, so I can add homophobe to the list of things you are, a moronic homophobe. Done. Didn't come back at me.
All right, guys. Goodbye.
All right, man. I'll be in touch. I gotta pee. I'll work on that. I'll work on this thing tonight. I'll figure out where I wanted to go with it.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you. I'll find them too. All right. See ya.